Hello everyone, and welcome to Player 1, in which I am exploring some solo play games and showing you what the gameplay looks like. This is Ascension, a deck building game. It's really popular, I think, one-player game. You can play it up to 5 or 6 people, I think, in teams. I've played it a couple of two-player games, a couple of two-player rounds, but mostly I'm playing it one player. I just wanted to kind of show you how the solo play works, because I was trying to get an idea of it when I was looking into buying the game and wasn't able to find anything. So hope this is helpful. I've already got the basic game set up. I've got my cultist, my mystic, my heavy infantry here. I've got my deck already pre-made. I've got my my honor tokens already selected and measured out in this medieval font that I have printed. All that's left is for me to shuffle the card deck and then lay out the first track. So the main thing to know in the solo player Ascension is that you're playing against an AI which is essentially not going to do a lot, but acts as kind of a timer. So your honor acts as kind of a timer in terms of how long the game is going to go on, much like in this in multiplayer game, I think, as well. All right, so that's our first lay of the land. I take 5 cards to make my hand, and I've got 5 apprentices. So I'm going to I'm not going to go into every single card or every single rule that I come across, but I will kind of give you an idea of my strategy and how this game kind of changes along the way to make it kind of a fun, interactive, and kind of sometimes quite tense gameplay. So I've got 5 apprentices. This means I can generate 5 runes. They each have a +1, and I've got 8 of these in my starting deck here. I've got a couple of choices. I can pick up some cheaper things. I can pick up one of these kind of pretty good 5 spots, which is quite tempting at the minute, especially this one, because it's essentially what the AI does at the end of every for their turn. They take the 2 cards on the furthest right, so I don't want him to get this. It has 5 victory points, and that's going to count pretty well in the end. So I'm going to add that to my discard here. You see that I shuffled it, or I shifted everything over to the right before drawing my new card, and that'll be my turn. So then the AI essentially takes the 2 cards to the right. We shift everything over. This gives us a bit of an advantage because we know what they're about to get, which is why I wanted to grab this before they took it. So it does give us a bit of an advantage as a player. So this is my next 5 cards, my next hand, which I know has got 2 militia and 3 apprentice. So I've got 3 runes and then 2, I can't remember the term, but like battle points essentially. So I can't do much with these other than defeat a cultist, which gives me 1 honor. I can defeat as many of these per turn as I want. Here. So I can defeat as many of these per turn as I want. I get 1 honor for it, which is a place right there. And then I've got 3 left to spend, which isn't bad. I will take Mystic, and that'll give me 2 runes when it comes through my hand next time. So that's my turn. Everything goes into the discard. My opponent takes up the furthest 2 cards. Now, this is a construct which you'd get and count at the end. This, because it's a monster card, they actually get the honor right away. So we take 3 honor and give it to the AI. And they say to put the monsters all in the void pile, but I just like to avoid shuffling them all later, so I'm just going to put it with their card over there, or their winnings over there. Pull 2 more. And then we're going to shuffle our discard pile to make a new deck. The thing that I really like about this game, I'm not a huge fan of like the steampunk aesthetic per se, but I do like the kind of the 4 different factions and the way that they kind of interplay. So, for example, like these enlightened folks over here are all about kind of like drawing cards and making your hand better. Typically, these kind of void heroes are all about making you more powerful. And then these Makana heroes are all kind of like, they're a bit more tricky. I think they maybe come into a bit more strategic. Players might enjoy those. So I've got another 5 apprentices. It's actually pretty good. I like having all of one, or all of one or one of the others. So I've got 5 runes to spend again. I think I'm going to pick up a couple of heroes this time around, and I'm going to start working on some battle points. We haven't seen too many monsters. We've seen 2 so far, so that means that they're probably further on down this deck. There's one. Let's see if I can zoom in on the middle cards a little bit more. So those go into my discard. We give our AI, he's got a pretty slim pickings of just 2 victory points there, so that's good. We want to keep him getting as few as we can, and picking up the most valuable cards for ourselves, or discarding them if possible, getting them out of the deck and sending them into the void. 3, 4, 5. So I've got another hand of 5 here, and I've got a construct. This allows me to gain 1 rune, but only to spend on Makana constructs, which is actually pretty helpful given they've got 3 already out, but they're going to go away pretty quickly, I think. Unfortunately, I only have 2 apprentice, so 2 runes, so I can't even afford the cheapest construct, because that would give me oh no, wait, 1, 2, 3. Okay, yeah, alright, so fine, we'll get the cheapest construct, and then we've got 2 malicious, so that unless I pull a really cheap monster, which I don't think I will, that means I'm gonna get another cultist. So we've got 2 cultists down and 2 honor earned. The AI is going to go next, and that's going to look like 1 honor point for them, on a crystal, on a gem, and then this one is a big guy. This sucks we couldn't get this ourselves, but that's 7 honor points for them at the end of the game. So move all this along. 5 new cards. What I also like about this, and obviously deck builders in general, is just the kind of the engine that you can decide to build one way or the other. Obviously there's a bit of luck because you're never going to go through the entire deck. So you're never going to go through the entire deck here. There's way more cards than you'll use in one game. So that you've got a bit of luck as to what actually gets presented. So your strategy, you're not going to find like a game like Trains where you've got people who play on the board and people who only play in their hand. You're going to find that probably your strategy is going to change from game to game because you have to just react to what cards are available. Okay, well, this is pretty cool. So we've got our construct we just got. So when I put that in play, I get to draw a card. So I'll do that. That gives me a nice 5 runes, but I also have this Spike Vixen where I can gain 1 battle point, but then also draw a card. I just want to see what my options are, and that actually is pretty good. So now I know I've got 6, and it's always good to essentially try to keep your options open for as long as possible while you're playing this game, I think, so that when you finally make your decision as to what cards to choose, you're making it with the fullest amount of knowledge that you can. I do really like these constructs where you get something every turn. It kind of makes that engine building really fun. So I'm going to do that. So that's I've spent 3, and then I've got 3 more to spend, and I can gain 1. This construct here gives me 1 to spend on Makana constructs each turn. So I think what I'll do is take this one, and that's the Rocket Courier. So I'll spend that. So I've got 3 runes 1 extra makes 4, so I can put that in my discard pile. And that's a pretty decent turn. Our opponent gets Corrosive Widow, which is 3, and Twofold Ascara, which is 2, but later on. That Twofold Ascara is actually a really cool card. You get to copy anything, any other hero that you have, even including the Mystics and the Heavy Infantry. So if you, it's basically you turn this into a 4 battle points, this into a 4 runes, and it's a really powerful card. Okay, let's see, 5 more cards here. So you're kind of getting the idea of each turn around, my deck is getting, or my hand is getting better. I'm getting, or well, this guy maybe not, but I'm pulling better cards. I'm building my deck. That's where that comes from. I'm building my deck, and things are getting easier in terms of being able to choose which of these I'm able to access. Let's see. Well, I hate to double up. Oh, look at this. I missed this almost. So if I control 2 or more constructs, I get to draw a card. So I will do that. It's another apprentice, which gives me another rune, so that's pretty helpful. Then I've got 2 battle points here, and I've got another 1 here, but I don't think it's going to be useful. Then I've got 4 here. And the question is, do I go for the Wolf Shaman who gets me a point? Probably not. Or I go for the... I'm sorry, but I can't say that. Whatever it is. Or I go for and double up with my Shadow Star. I think I might go with the Staff. And I'll tell you why, because I know there's a card that gets you points for every different type of construct you have. So if I have a Meccana, a Void, and a Lifebound construct, then that'll get me extra points if I am able to find that card. So put that in my discard. These are our opponents. Shadow Star's still out there for us to get. That's kind of cool. This Grand Design card's pretty cool too. You get 2 points for Meccana constructs. Maybe I should be explaining what that is. I assume that you've looked on Board Game Geek, or read the rules somehow. But essentially, you've got 2 different types of cards that you can play in your hands: heroes and constructs. Constructs are going to sit, like as you see, these have just been sitting here. They sit out and give you a benefit each turn once you're able to play them. Heroes obviously go through your deck and cycle through like regular cards. And heroes will give you spells, give you battle points, as you've been seeing, get you runes, etc. So that's pretty cool. I'm going to put this guy down. So that's pretty lucky, actually. So that means I've got... So each turn I have this on my board. I'm placing this on a pool. I guess that's probably where I think you're supposed to put it. So each turn I gain 1. This means I gain 2. And I can draw a card. That means I've got 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've got 4 battle points to spend, and I've got 2. I've got 2 of these, which isn't that helpful, because I guess what I'd like to do is kind of move this along and see if I can get a bigger monster to come out here, because we don't have any monsters out here at the minute. But I guess what I'm going to be stuck doing is picking up a heavy infantry with my 2 points, and then I'm going to use my battle points here that I've got, those 4, to kill 2 cultists. So oftentimes you probably see what is happening at the moment is the AI kind of peels ahead pretty quickly, especially if you get lots of monsters out, because they're, regardless of how many, they don't have to worry about what they're drawing, right? They just take the 2 cards every single time, where sometimes we're not going to be lucky enough to do that. So they usually peel ahead quite quickly. They'll build up a big stockpile of gems, and then usually we'll catch them up. Alright, so I'm pretty happy with this. So I've got my construct came through. I place him down. this is getting a bit messy. So I've got my constructs down here. So I've got 4 constructs now, which is pretty sweet. And then this guy gives me, this is my Ferromancer, so he gives me 2 battle points, and then I can draw a card from him because I've got two more, or more than 2 constructs, I should say. So that means I've got 4 battle points right now, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I would love to get this grand design, but that is just slightly out of reach. No, it isn't, because once per turn I gain 1 to buy a Meccana construct, so I'm just bringing him in here. So I've spent 5 to get him, or it. That's obviously not it's not a hero, it's a construct, so that is a thing. So I've spent 5 to get that, and then I've got 4 battle points. I was hoping that was going to be a cool monster, but we're going to just keep killing cultists, I guess. They are just coming out the woodwork. Because I've got 1 battle point from this, 1 battle point from that, and then 2 from my Ferromancer. So that's 4. I spend 2 on each cultist that I kill. There he is. So 2 points. And we're actually not doing too badly. AI gets those 2. We move our deck along, and I've got a nice big monster to fight. Hopefully we can draw some good battle cards. We've got 4, I need 1 more. So the constructs really just allow you to, you know, not rely as heavily on the luck of the draw, because every turn I'm gaining 2 battle points. So essentially I'm gaining 1 honor every turn, kind of automatically, or I don't have to rely on getting an amazing hand of 5 battle points to take down my tyrant. I only need 3. So let's see what we got. I got 2, so that's nice. Good demonstration there. I did get another construct, so I can play that one down. Let's see. So I've got 3 runes. That wasn't a great hand at all. Do I go for the Mystic, or do I go for the Shaman? I do like the Shaman because you get to draw a card, but you are only gaining 1 point, so it's kind of like having another apprentice in your deck. I guess I'll do it, because why not? And then I've got another a witch there. Okay, so I've got 4. So I mean, just more stupid cultists. Whatever. If they want to keep coming, I'll just keep on taking them down. This is the Mac Daddy of all constructs here. This Hedron Cannon is worth 8, and then look at that, 1 battle point for each Meccana construct you control. That would be 4 battle points per turn, plus the other 2, so that'd be 6 battle points per turn. No monsters would be standing any chance against us, or we could have 3 honor points for killing 3 cultists every go. So you know I'm getting excited here, but you see how this is about to work. 3, 4, 5. So I've put my money on the construct strategy here. Like I said, there's kind of different approaches that you're going to take, but since they've all been coming up and they've always had they've just been on the board a lot, it's been kind of helpful. So let's see. I place this down. I can draw a card from my borrower because I played a Meccana construct, so this gives me another apprentice, which hopefully is going to help, because that gives me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's tough. These 2 are right pain, because who needs them, right? Alright, fine. So, let's see. Well, we've got... Let's work the other way then. So we've got 2... we've got another 4 battle points, so that'll give us another 2 cultists. Or I can try to spend 3... Oh, that's rubbish. Okay, let's see. Let's do this. Let's recruit some heavy infantry because no, that's not what I want. I want to recruit a mystic. I'm going to recruit a mystic. What do I want to move along the thing? Okay, now see, this is I believe called analysis paralysis. You are going to get a lot of choices in this game. I don't know if I've ever run into a choice which I'm like, oh, if I'd chosen one thing or the other, I could have won / I could have lost. But it's definitely like, in the moment, it feels important to play it right. I'd like to take this guy because he's only 1, and like I'd move this along and see if I can get any more cards out. But then it means that my opponent's going to gain the Sea Tyrant in this turn, which is extra 5 victory points, or sorry, honor points. So I don't want him getting any more honor or that much honor. So I think I'm going to leave this as it is. Buy a mystic, try to get some more runes up on the board, and then I'm going to defeat some more cultists because I'm starting at the bottom, and you know what? We'll work our way up to something big. We'll work our way up. This is we've downed 10 cultists so far, so hopefully their numbers are thinning. These 2 go to our opponent. And so now I've still got another turn where if I'm not earning enough, I can still hopefully pick up the Hedron Cannon. Hedron Cannon? Hedron. Hedron? I can still pick the cannon up later. So, let's see. Well, that didn't do us any good either. So we've got... Let's see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4... 5, 6, 7 runes this time, which is exactly not enough to get the cannon again. So let's go the other way. We've got 1, 2, 3. Okay, well here we go. Here's what's gonna get. Here is where we're gonna come up trumps here. Gain 2. Draw a card, because I do indeed control more than 2 constructs. This Ferromancer's coming up pretty well, actually. He's been a pretty good card for us. And you can kind of see how they do synergize together. So I'm going to draw a card. I just had to make a new deck. It's an apprentice, which that is great because that means we can get the cannon. I'm also going to play this lady. I'm going to draw a card for playing her, which now means I've got an extra apprentice, which, you know, always welcome. So now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 battle points total, which means I will indeed choose to take down the Sea Tyrant. That gives me a massive 5 honor points in the form of this rather dashing ruby gem. And then if I move this along, that's what's going to happen there. Just another life bound. That's pretty cool. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 from this one. If I'm yeah, you can see my point. 6, 7 from that one, and 1 from this one. That gives us 8. That gives me 8 runes to pick up the Hedron Cannon. I can place this in turn right away because I have this rocket courier, which allows me to do so. And so when I do that, I generate 1 battle point for each Meccana construct I control. I mean, this is just mental, isn't it? So I've put down all these. That's gone. I've got... Let's do this. I'm going to spend this 1 to get this lady into my deck. And just in case, because that might give us a monster. I did. That's great. So now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Did I say I've got 5? 5 battle points? Is that what I said? So then I can do this. Defeat this guy, gain 2. And defeat a cultist and gain 1. and I can banish a card in the center row, which I'm not sure I'm going to do actually. I'm not actually sure I'm going to do because they're all pretty bad cards, which I don't mind our opponent having to get into. Alright, I think this video is probably running a bit long, so what I'm going to do is stop right there. You can see I'm getting kind of excited. Our engine's getting really pretty it's getting some momentum to it, so we're generating a lot of points per turn. We're still pretty decent on honor. We've got about, what, 25 points still to be spread around, so hopefully we can get our total up a little bit. I think we're doing pretty well, although they've obviously, our opponent's got a lot of cards over here. Anyway, so I'm going to pause this. I will make a second half, well, right now, I guess. I'm not going to leave it, and that'll be posted up in a bit. And yeah, if you have any other ideas for videos, let me know. If there's any specific games you want to see. I will post the description to this Lincoln Cathedral medieval font. I believe it was actually meant to be limestone, but I coloured it in like stone colour, but you know, whatever. In the description, and yeah, see you.